Welcome everyone to another episode of Intercultural Concierge. As you can see, I messed up my microphone setup during the podcast recording, and right now I'm doing a voiceover. I will try my best to reiterate what I said during the opening minutes, but it was very simple. I just introduced myself. As you know, I'm Serkan. I'm the guy that actually cannot speak, that you cannot hear the voice
Turkish
of,
delight.
and I'm one of the co-hosts. And with me, to my left, I have my co-host Jordan from US.
I'm the usual guy you've seen all these other weeks. Here, coming at you live from Connecticut, USA. So let me set the table here, because firstly, this is a huge honor for her. Her name is Wanapa, and she has the honor of being our absolute first guest of all time on this podcast. Her face is a smile on it, no matter if she's smiling or not. And how she does today basically is going to determine if we ever have guests on this podcast ever again. And we're so fortunate to have her join us today because she has a great perspective in general. She also gives us a little balance from our just like a two male perspectives. But she's not Turkish. She's not American. She's not Korean. What are you, Wanapa? Tell us and introduce yourself.
Hi, it's Wanapa. I'm from Thailand. Currently, I'm like working and living in Bangkok right now.
You're from Thailand.
Yes, I'm Thai. Basically, I am Thai.
Okay, you're Thai. That's good. So we have like another cultural perspective, but the great thing is that there's still triad connecting us all because we all did meet while we were in South Korea, although two of us are no longer there. But one up, I just want to say last week we did a drinking culture podcast, and we shared a story about when we drank too much. So I think you really would have been great on that one as well, since
I know, right?
we have a story where that took place.
Maybe it's a good thing I couldn't make it.
Well, we're gonna have a lot of time to explore today, and so today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about dating and romance, because there's a lot of difference between different cultures, and we're going to explore the different notions of like what dating and romance is all about. We're going to talk about like different cultural factors, different cultural points in different countries, and then we are each going to share a story of our own intercultural dating, because as I've been informed, we all have done that before. Correct?
Exactly.
Yes.
So, all right. So I guess the opening question here is, so like, let's talk about dating and romance in general. Like, what's the point? Why do we do it? There's a lot of different perspectives. So like, what could be some ideas? Wanapa, why don't you start?
Okay.
Ladies first.
I think the ultimate goal is to find the one that you would like to spend the rest of your life with, whatsoever your like future partner. However, I am in the age of exploring like period where I don't really take dating that seriously. I just want to see how it goes. Do I feel good? Like, does this person make me feel happy? And that was all about. Like, I'm not in the stage of life where I think about the future or serious about his financial like whatever that is in the future, right? I'm just like, I just want to get to know this person. I'm excited and it feels good. I think that is dating for me right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you really illustrated kind of like the different poles which exist, right? Like there's the serious kind of I want to find the right person kind of aspect, but also at the same time there exists the kind of just like for fun side of it. And so I think that's interesting.
I wouldn't say it's for fun, but like if it's not fun, you wouldn't be doing it, right? Like, why would you be doing something that you're not?
So then what's it for? If it's not for fun and you're also not looking to settle down yet or consider something seriously, then what's the point?
Like, I am looking to settle down, but that's like far away in the future. That's the ultimate goal. But
so then what's the point of your like kind of light dating that you're doing now?
So like I am more experience with different type of men, and I can like compare which one I am more like.
What do you mean different type of men? What does it mean?
There are many type of people, right? And you
Mhm.
gotta find the one that is the perfect jigsaw where everything is
Well,
fit.
why are you putting a specific measurement? Like the
Is
right
this
puzzle
like
piece,
one
the right
piece of
fit,
jigsaw or another piece of jigsaw?
the right fit? Like, what are we talking about?
Tell me when to stop.
So,
Anyway,
okay,
yeah.
but I think that's a good point. Like, I think that actually, I mean, I'm 38 and I've settled down at this point, but I think that like, but I think that like my experience dating has actually given me a lot of insight into like not only myself, but also like the kind of person who's right for me. So
Mhm.
I think it's dating is advantageous. So Serkan, what do you think about all this?
Like I'm maybe an exception to this whole dating phenomenon. Like I didn't date that much. Like when I think about my previous, girlfriends and also my ex-wife, let's say as a divorced person, like I dated maybe 10 people, 10 girls in yeah, in total. And
And you said that's not a lot? Did you just say that's not a lot?
just 10, like I am like 31 years old right now and
But
I
again,
dated 10 girls
I think
total. Yeah, probably.
I think we're gonna have to we're gonna have to figure out what dating actually means to Serkan's definition. But yeah,
I
keep
know.
going, Serkan.
So like what I
Yeah.
what I mean by dating is, you meet someone from, I don't know, maybe through a friend or in a like a club, like what as a club, I mean, I don't mean the clubs that you go and drink and have fun, like clubs in like a
The boring clubs. I understand the boring clubs.
like a social environment. And then and once you are interested in that person, you go on dates. You have a meal, you go out, you start dating. So in that sense, I have dated so few women because I was not good at dating, because I was not good at maybe opening up myself to others or like going to them and asking them out. Like most of the time, like people asked me out. That's how it happened to me because I was either too shy or I just didn't care. So I didn't do anything. So people came to me. There's like only a few exceptions where I made the first move or where I tried to date. So for me, dating was never for fun or never for discovery, but it was just I liked someone or someone liked me. So that was the natural progress. The dating comes after that. You like someone, and the second step is dating.
Okay. So and just so we're clear for the record here. So how many of the 10 happened before you went to Korea?
I would say 7 or 8. Yeah, like I only dated one, no, two. Yeah, two people in Korea.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Like I guess right the idea is finding someone that you can grow old with, like what Napa was saying, or trying to find like love, that kind of thing. But I think like this is the idea which is different across cultures. Like some cultures, like I would say maybe in the US, and we'll talk about this more later, but like I feel like if someone doesn't really find like love or find the right person, then it's just as good for them to be alone. Like there's not really much societal pressure
Hmm.
to push someone to date. I mean, maybe in certain like career paths, like in, I don't know, politics or something, but I mean in general, like there's not really much pressure to the okay, really you really need to settle down, you need to marry someone if you don't really meet the right one. But like in other cultures that isn't the case. That's different. So um, yeah. So I guess what we'll do is we'll talk about some of the different cultural features, this kind of thing, in the different countries where we all come from, and we'll talk about Korea as well. So why don't we start off? I guess I'll give you guys the choice, Wanapa or Sarkan. Which of you guys would like to share some of the kind of dating and romance features from your country?
let's go with our guest.
What,
Let's give Wanapa
Yeah.
the lead.
We're gonna give
Okay.
ladies first still.
what are we what are we doing again? Can you explain again, please?
So it's okay. So you're Thai, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, tell us about the dating culture in Thailand. Like, what do boyfriends and girlfriends do? Like, cause right in Korea probably they're different. Or like what are the expectations? What are the different, like I don't know, something like that.
This is gonna be hard for me because I left when I was 15 and I've never dated a Thai guy before. Anyway, what surprised me is that we have such a like. So for me, dating when I say I'm dating someone, it's mean that we're already in a relationship. I already call that person my boyfriend, and he's already know that I'm his girlfriend. But if we haven't like discussed that yet, I would say that we're just seeing each other. Like seeing
Mhm.
each other and dating each other is a different thing for me. But in Thailand, what's shocking is that people take so much time to see each other. Like I know of friends who has been seeing this guy for 9 months and they're still not in a relationship. And I'm
Wow.
like, why are you
Mm.
doing this? What the heck is going on? Because we have that term that we call a person who we talk to. We literally say a person who we talk to, and we label them as that. It's just crazy. And then
So
and
okay,
then
so wait, so what does that mean? Like so obviously there's more going on than just talking. So what's really
yeah,
going on when you
it's like
say
they're
that?
dating already. They already like people know that they're like going out together. People know that they're hanging out together. They probably slept together as well. Like like people have seen them as a couple for such a long time. But when you ask them, "Are you guys together, or do you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend?" They'll be like, I have a person who I talk to."
Oh,
Like
okay,
they
so why are they like downplaying the nature of the relationship? Like what's behind that?
I guess for us it's a big deal when we're in a relationship. Like we're taking it super seriously. Like for me, I would take like 2 or 3 months to get to know someone, and then I'll know if I want to be in a relationship with that person or not, right? But like here, some people just take like almost a year, and then some of them don't even get to be a couple. Like some of them didn't even get to be a couple. Like
Yeah, like that sounds too much. Yeah, that sounds too
yeah,
much.
I know exactly. But even like what like but then like compared to in Korea, they think that me taking my 2 3 months time is too long because they just want to rush things so bad. They just want to shop. Where are we right now? You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
it's just so different. That's why it's really hard for me to like date in Korea, especially like with Korean guys. Like that's why it's never worked out.
Because there
Anyway,
was
but
a sense of like a pressure to
yeah,
like kind of define the commitment level, something like that.
right.
Hmm. So wait, so then like what is happening during this time period? Like so why is it taking so long? Like why do people need like up to a year even to figure out like how serious their relationship is? Like that like I guess that like I mean the US
It's-
I think there's also a kind of a period of figuring out, but like
right.
that seems quite long. So
Uh-huh.
why do you think that is?
I guess for us, when we're in a relationship, it's not just about two people. We have to introduce them to our parents. I have to be introduced to his parents, and then like we all hang out, and then we all get attached emotionally. And we hang out with their friend. He hang out with my friends, and it's such a serious thing. We start talking about the future, and it's really hard to get out of a relationship. Like it's not like, oh, this is not working out. Let's just stop. Like it's like I know some people who wouldn't like who would just go like fuck around with other people and not letting their like girlfriends know because he don't know how to get out of the relationship even though he knows he's not happy. It's just there's just like I don't know what to call like the social pressure where you want your relationship to last and not
Hmm.
fail. I don't so it's that's why we take our time to call someone
Hmm.
our boyfriends because eventually that person might end up being our husband or
So
wife,
okay,
whatever.
so when you like stamp the relationship status, I mean that like has a very huge significance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. All right, cool. So wait, so like what are some of the like the different cultural elements? Like we'll get into Korea later, but I'll give you one sample. which is like in Korea, they, you know, like celebrate like 100-day anniversary, which is a totally new foreign concept to me as an American. You know, maybe we do like I don't know, a year
Anniversary,
kind of
yeah.
thing, but they do 100 days, like of how like long they've been together with somebody.
Mhm.
And actually, I mean, it was interesting to me, but I honestly, I loved it. You know, the fact
No,
that
I hated it. It's too
because
much. It's too much.
no,
Like
I think
I
100 days.
agree.
perfect
I find
because
it I found it annoying.
but I think 100 days is the exact amount of time you need to determine like how seriously interested you are in someone. Like if you don't know, like after 100
That's
days, you
3
kind of are
months.
like,
That's like me.
yeah,
No, but
it's like
that
it's like
100
3
days
months.
starts from the day you start dating. There is like in Korea, it's the same thing. Like before, like you are seeing someone, but when you are seeing someone, you don't start counting the days. They say, okay, today is the first day, and then they start dating officially. Then after that, you spend 100 days together. So it doesn't work that way. So it's that 100 days is not the 100 days you get to know someone. It's the 100 days you start dating. Because
Like
Yeah.
before the first day, there is maybe like a 3 months. Like that's how it works in Korea. For
There's
example,
no way
but
there was a 3 months for them. There's
like or
no
like 2
way.
months. For
3
example,
days probably.
wait, but you mean before it's like you mean the countdown starts when it's official, right?
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I guess
it's
they
like
just want to celebrate their little milestones. We do that too when we were in high school. But like as like,
childish.
but
Yeah, I think it seems
agree.
childish.
I mean, like maybe it seems odd at first, but I realized that it's actually a perfect barometer, you know, because like I could really at 100 days I could know like, all right, the 100 days is coming up. It's like, you know what? Not into this. You know, cut it off. Like as opposed to like, all right, 100 days is coming up. You know what? Like, all right,
So you
let's keep this
decide
going
that
and see where
before
it
you
goes.
decide your first day. Yeah.
Right?
So that happens before
Nah,
you start counting.
but I think that's what Wanapa was talking about. Is I feel like there's like the window of dating before you become like official is actually like much smaller than other cultures or something. So okay,
Super
so
small.
go back to Thailand. So is there any other like Thailand specific features of dating like that 100 days or like things that you guys think that Thai people specifically do or certain style?
We steal from a culture where men is, how do I put this? Like, I wouldn't say they treat women as they inferior, but they try to be like machismo. Sometimes when I go out with a Thai guy, I feel like they try to take care of me too much, which could be nice. Like some
Like
people would be into that.
in give us some examples.
Like they would definitely pay.
Pay for what?
Then that's like when we go out or like, but then that's different from other people. Like I don't know, it's different. But like usually it's different. I don't know. I have friends who shares as well, but like I said, I never dated Thai guy, but like as our culture in general, as an Asian culture, I think usually they will pay and like they will try to make you feel like you're the princess. And sometimes I feel like I'm dating like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
But you said
Yeah.
you said you've never dated a Thai guy. So how do you know?
Well, I was seeing this guy for one time, but then like I knew right away that it's not gonna work out. So we didn't like I don't know for him what it was, but like for me, we didn't start dating yet. But like he would already think that we are like so lit, you know? I don't know if it's on me, if I did anything to make him think like that, but like I don't think it's a cultural I don't think it's a cultural thing. I think it's a specific person's
All right.
perspective. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's a cultural thing. It's like are you guys
Okay.
judging me right now?
No. We're listening to what you're saying. But
No,
all
I
right, so
I wouldn't say it's a cultural thing, you know.
okay. All right. Well, we're gonna go into Serkan and then we'll do the US and Korea. And if you feel like that like jars an idea about Thailand, feel free to jump in later. Serkan, what
Okay.
tell us some features of well, we know that people aren't getting drunk and talking to each other as we just explored last time.
What?
So no one
No,
gets
like
drunk.
don't
No one gets drunk in Turkey.
exaggerate. Come on, like don't
But
twist
so
my words. I just said people think getting drunk is not a good behavior. That's it. There are still people getting drunk. You cannot stop people from getting drunk. Anyways, in Turkey, I would say it's a mixed bag between West and the East. For example, Turkey is like mostly, let's say, or mainly a patriarchal country. So men thinks they should be the person to take charge and during the dating phase, and they should be the person to again to pay the restaurant's bill or pay for the meals or events. If you go to, I don't know, for like a theme park, we feel responsible for that. We have that innate responsibility to take care of the date. And this is not a great thing because then you start expecting things from the other person. You're like, okay, I am taking these, like, it's, I don't know, is it a fucked up mentality maybe? Like, because you think you are doing your part. You're like, okay, this is my part, I'm doing my part, and the other person should do their own part by making me happy or by pleasing me or something like that. Yeah.
so
What do you want to
can
say?
you like give us an example, like when you say like my part or that kind of thing?
Like, for example, people think the girl should be impressed, or men think the girl should or somehow repay the favor, repay by anything, by maybe giving a compliment, by saying that you are handsome, or it varies from again a simple compliment to getting into the bed. Some people even think, okay, I paid for the meal, why she's inviting me to her house, or why she is not coming back to my place. Like, that is the thing I hate. Like, I believe if you are doing something, like for example paying for the meal, you should do that because you want to do that. You should not be expecting something in return. You just, okay, I just want to pay for the meal, or I'm having great time, I'm doing this because I want to do this. I don't care if she does anything in return or not. Like, that mentality should be the one that people have, but sadly that's not reality.
Hmm.
Other than
Okay,
that,
interesting.
we don't have any special stuff like 100-day anniversary or things. The only thing that matters is women, especially in Turkey, have very good memory of anniversary, of special things. The first, like,
I think that's universal.
yeah,
I agree.
probably. So if you did something great, if you did something unusual, you should remember the date as a man, because next year the woman will say, okay, do you know what day today is? Like, this is the anniversary of our first vacation ever, something like that.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
I would say Turkey, like, dating culture in Turkey is also changing. 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago, maybe people used to date at tea houses, or yeah, like, I think those kind of places are kind of unique to Turkey. These are places that you can go, drink tea, and enjoy pastry, and that's all. And we call those places tea gardens. So people used to go to those places to date, especially the first and second date would be at tea gardens. You just drink tea together and chat. That's how
So okay.
the dating used to be.
So how do people like meet one another? Is there like any specific way, like being a traditional, maybe more traditional culture? Like,
There
is there,
is.
it's like, is it more like, in Korea they have the term like a sogeting, which is like introducing the person, people that you know together, like a blind date. Like, I know this person, you know this person, put them together. Like, you guys don't meet in Turkish baths. We cleared that up also.
Actually, that's not correct. So, funny thing, normally, or like maybe back in the day, mom, the mothers of men used to go to Turkish baths to find suitable candidates for their sons, because in the Turkish baths you can see the women naked, or let's say half naked, not fully naked, but without any makeup or without any, you know, things. So they would look at the girls over there and then meet them, and then they say, okay, I have a son, and then they try to you know, hook them up, basically, in simple terms. This still happens, but not in the Turkish baths anymore because they're not very common. But in, you know, moms arrange dates for their sons, like that's still common. Like arranged marriages are, I would say, not that common to compared to the past, but you can still find people who got married through their parents' arrangement, like that. So we don't have sogeting, like we don't have blind dating. Blind dating is like, I don't know, so out of our culture. We always prefer the person to be there. Like if someone is introducing us to another person, that person needs to be there. You know, like there's no blind date culture. We have like, for example, I want to introduce someone to Jordan. So I invite Jordan, I invite the girl, and it's like a 3 or 4 person meeting first. And then if they hit it off, they exchange phone numbers, and then they start dating from that point on.
But it's like kind of made clear that, you know, I'm bringing you here to meet
Yeah,
someone
like
and
that.
see
The purpose, sometimes it's not even clear. Sometimes the parties don't even know. Sometimes, you know, it's done in secret. They are like,
very, very organic.
for
It's
example,
Cupid.
Jordan has a friend and I have a friend, and we think that they are a good match. That's when we arrange a
That's like a
secret meeting.
very confident matchmaker where they're like, I don't even need to tell this person that they're going on a date. Like, all right, so I'm gonna tell.
Consent.
So I'm gonna tell you guys about the U.S. culture, and then
Yeah.
then we're I guess we'll pause there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then we're working on the 3-person Zoom here. So in the U.S. culture, honestly, I think I have the same disadvantage that what Napa was talking about, having that I haven't been a single person, like a single dude guy in the United States since 2008. So I'm seriously out of touch with like the way things work here. But I am certain about a couple of facts, which is that like the kind of phase of the relationship thing that we were talking about. And I think it's similar to what Napa was describing, but I think not quite as extreme. But I think that like actually we would say maybe the first phase is dating, and actually to me like seeing someone means
agree.
like more serious. Actually, that's kind of like
Oh,
the
really?
inverse of what you were saying.
Wait,
Yeah.
really? So when you
Yeah, it's
say
like, oh, well, like
seeing
we're dating,
someone
like
is
we're
more
dating.
serious?
We're dating is like we're going on some like dates here and there, but like seeing someone is like kind of seeing them regularly.
Oh, really? Oh,
I mean
really?
that's like I
Yeah,
would say my
it's similar in
definition, but
Turkey too. If you say that you're seeing someone, that means it's serious.
Oh, really? Maybe I've been using it all wrong. Maybe it's the language issue.
when it may whatever however makes sense to you, but I think that like, and this is like I think a point of cultural clash, I guess, is because like in the United States, it's like you can be dating. And actually, during this dating period, and like maybe it's the same in your guys' culture, dating can be done like you can actually be dating multiple people at the same time, right? And like actually, the dating, like the status of dating, does not necessarily dictate the physical intimacy level. So I mean, someone could be sleeping with multiple people at the same time, and actually they're well within their rights. I feel like in terms of relationship status, because like until in America, until you have had that conversation, we say like a DTR, define the relationship. Until you have
Yes.
officially defined the relationship, then you're actually not an official couple. And so it's like the expectations of like of coupledom, right? Which is I don't know, monogamy, I guess, if that's what if that's what the couple agrees upon, and then I guess like an increased level of responsibility, commitment, etc. Until that happens, like it cannot be assumed. Whereas I feel like in Korea, there's like as you said, there's a pressure to quickly make it that way because I guess they don't the ambiguity. They're not comfortable with the kind of ambiguity type of thing. What do you guys think about that?
Again, I agree with the Korea part as well, and also it's like in Turkey, physical intimacy comes after you establish the relationship. So it's like if you are like people think of you badly, like let's say the general population think of you badly if you're sleeping around, basically. Like
Before being in a relationship.
yeah, exactly. So also like if you are having multiple partners, same thing. People don't think, people don't see you in a positive light. So like if you are going to have physical intimacy with someone, you're expected to have a serious relationship with, or like at least be boyfriend and girlfriend with that person.
It's
I
the
would
same
say.
thing.
Go ahead.
It's a similar thing in Thailand, theoretically, but like there are too many, like there are many young generation these days that didn't think that way, including me. I feel like I need to be physically intimate with someone before I actually call this person my boyfriend, because I need to know if he is selfish in bed, or like I need to find that out before it just whatever it decides. I need to find that out before we actually, because usually the first couple of times it's not great because you don't know each other pace yet. You don't, there's a lot more things to find out, and you need to know if that person is the right person that you're willing to be that close and comfortable with naked, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, I need to find out before I actually being in a relationship with someone. It doesn't need to be like wow on the first time, but I need to know that I can talk to him about things in bed and
Okay.
There's a classic proverb about trying the milk before you buy the cow, and like
or like try the car before you buy it.
I'm with you all the way.
Yeah, great. What about you,
So-
Serkan? So you never.
I'm
so
mixed. For me, I'm
So
sometimes yes, sometimes no. Like I would
how many
say
times did you buy the cow before you tried the milk?
a few times, quite a few times, and I never regretted that fact. Like I never
Nice.
regretted that. It's like
Right.
it's both. Like both parts are important, equally important, especially. But it is difficult to have like establish that. You can't just expect anyone to be open with you or close with you physically before starting a relationship. Some people are not ready for it, or some people are not open to that idea, and you should respect that. You should say, okay, fine. That's how that people person.
So what
thinks.
can you do before committing? Like a little making out? Like that's kosher, or like little making out and like above the
Like
clothing.
there is nothing I can say. Like
Because
there's no.
if I couldn't kiss a girl before, like there's no way I'm going to commit to someone that I couldn't even kiss.
Yeah, like that means you're not even like. That means you don't have that physical chemistry, like kissing someone or hugging, or let's say first base stuff. Like that needs to happen for the relationship to grow. But what I mean by physical, intimacy, I mean like literally sex, like being in bed. You like you can't expect everyone to be open with that idea, and especially from certain cultures. For example, in Turkey, like women are judged because like if they sleep with someone before getting into a relationship, the people will judge them for it. So they're not open to that idea because they fear the societal pressure. They don't want people to call them names. You also need to be understanding. Like it's the same in Korea too. Like I have seen people talk badly about certain people because they are, let's say, more open-minded, or they sleep with others, or maybe they even sleep with foreigners. Like there are lots of stuff embedded in culture. It's not like US. I would say US is more carefree on this topic.
It depends on where in the
Yeah,
US.
US
Also,
is like a huge country as well. Like it depends on which
it's
state.
similar to Thailand, what Serkan just described. Um, but for me, I wouldn't like, how do you say, like some people get into a relationship, but then they don't even emotionally they're not there yet as well. To me, it's depend on the emotionally connection, like emotional connection level. Like you know that you like that person, and he knows that
Okay, Jordan is
you like.
blinking right now because like we are going to finish our part 1.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're gonna have our sponsor, Trojan Condoms, who's probably not sponsoring the podcast, but we're gonna have a little commercial break right here, and we'll be
Is
back
this
with you in a
true?
moment.
Yeah, it's
Is
partly
true with the
true. Yeah,
children?
it's partly true.
All right, that's it. That's it. Serkan will edit there. We have to rejoin the podcast.
Yeah, see you guys in
All right,
part 2.
I'm leaving. Welcome back. We are going to talk about Korea now, the place where all of us met, and the place where I guess all of us dated some people within the culture. And I think there's some interesting aspects about Korean culture that we can talk about.
Mhm.
But I'll start off by saying it's not universal. I think that one point about Korean dating culture, which I found different from the United States, is that there seems to be like a higher expectation of like a being in kind of constant touch. It seems like a Korean couples, like they use Kakao Talk. That's the communication program which like literally everyone in the entire country has. It's like the
Mhm.
WhatsApp of Korea. It's better than WhatsApp. And but basically, like the couples need to be constantly sending each other messages throughout the day, like what are you doing? How's it going? Did you eat? Like this kind of thing. And I think this like constant staying in touch throughout the day like demonstrates the care. Whereas that's not really my style at all. So I think this is like a one cultural difference. What other
It's
features
not
can
culture
you guys say?
difference, I would say. It's the same shit in Turkey. Like you are expected to send messages. Like especially I would say maybe because of age as well. Like up until 28, 27, I was like you are expected to show your care and show your interest with text message. And like it's I believe
Oh,
new
what did
generation
you
thing.
eat? Oh, was it delicious? Oh, it was delicious. Did you eat a
Like
lot? Like,
not even that. Like for example, like you if you don't want the text, you have to call. You have to speak. Like
That's worse. I don't want anyone to call me and be like, "Did you eat?"
but I was like that at first as well. Like if I'm not going to talk with the person that I'm in a relationship with, like like it's half of the relationship. Like you need to talk shit together. You need to, chat, do stuff
Mm.
together. And then if you are especially in a relationship where you cannot see each other on a daily basis, like text messages, Kakao, WhatsApp, or are the only things that you can use to talk. It's
I don't
like I
like
would say
small
in Turkey it's the same.
yeah, I mean it's the same in Thailand too. But like personally, I don't like small talking through text because then it's create this habits like of like saying good morning every day and saying good night every day and like talking
what's wrong with
about
that?
lunch
Someone's
every day.
interested. Someone wants to tell you good morning. What's the problem with that?
It's not bad. I like it personally. And but then like if we have a fight or like if something
Mhm.
off happened, then that pattern stop and then you know right away that something is wrong.
Yeah, like for example, for 2 months you get good morning every day, and then there is one day you don't get it, and you're like, okay, oh shit, something happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You get
Message.
paranoid.
And also
When you get
when
paranoid, but when it's just a text message, it's like nothing to me.
and also like as the time goes by, those messages, the frequency of those messages decrease. For example, it's like 2 days every week now, and then once a week, and then once a month, and then you think you believe something is going wrong with your relationship. You guys are not interested in each other anymore, but actually you're just growing up, or you just the relationship is
You see.
becoming more mature, so you don't need that kind of attention anymore. You are like getting more used to each other. So some couples believe it is because you guys are losing your passion. The relationship is losing its heat or something like that, but it's the natural process, I guess.
But I don't like
Uh,
anyone to show me any passion through text.
Like it
It's
might be
not
text, it might be a phone
like it's
call.
not memorable.
so then what degree of like communication is your preference? For tell our audience in case they're
I
going to
would
contact
like to have a text every day, but just like something happened in his day that is like, oh, this happened, and we talk about it for a
Mhm.
bit. And we don't have to like try to talk like, did you eat? What did you eat? Is it delicious? That's just like bullshit, I'd say. Like,
So it's not like a routine obligation.
yeah, I mean, you can ask from time to time, like, what did you eat for today? Like out of like your curiosity, but you shouldn't be asking someone that question like every fucking day. It's just doesn't make sense.
So you're saying you like someone to just be like natural, not to
Uh-huh.
ask because asking demonstrates their interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
Okay.
genuine interest or genuine things, not just to say something, but just share something about your day, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But would you guys agree that that's very commonplace in Korea?
No, like
I
in
think
Korea, I would say it's
it
more
is.
about fake messages. Like I would say they send the message because they feel obligated to send it, and if you don't send something back,
That's what I'm saying. There's like a more of a sense of like
I'm not sure
I need
about that
like
because
okay.
I've never dated one, so I'm not sure about that if they being fake. Because I don't know how could someone waste their time like that.
You also never dated a Korean woman.
Okay, fine.
So no, but
Fine.
I mean, unless you have some breaking news to tell us. But some of the other features I would say about like Korean dating culture, like one thing is that because Koreans live usually with their parents, like until like the marriage, like
Mm-hmm.
probably like 90%, then usually like most of their time is spent like outside the private space. Like whereas in the U.S., people have their own apartments and stuff like net dating can naturally move into that kind of space, whereas dating in Korea usually happens outside. There's like cafes, there's like bars, there's norebangs, the karaoke rooms, this kind of thing. And then also, if it gets to that kind of level, there's also the whole love motel culture, which does not exist whatsoever in the US, but is a very, very widespread in South Korea.
So like that was very interesting for me. Like for the most part, Turkey is very similar in how that people live with their parents. Like I lived with my parents since I got married. Most people did the same thing. It's like very common. And people live with their parents. So the dating happens outside. Again, cafes, tea places, etc. But
And so what happens if you want to, if you are in a relationship
yeah, so
and you
that's the
you want to
part.
bring things to the next level?
There is no love motels. Like there is no such thing as love motel. Like for
You guys just
example,
have
if
like
you
a
want
bar, you
to
guys go to the barn, you go and find a pile of hay somewhere.
no, well, in the past, yes. Like we even have no. I kid you not. In the past, that we have even idioms related to that. But
Okay,
modern
such
day,
as
like for example, if two people love each other, even a barn becomes heaven. You know, it doesn't
there you go.
matter where you live. Even if you live in a barn with someone, if the person you live with is the person you love, it doesn't matter. But like thinking about the modern day, like for example, thinking about my past, my friends, what we did was we either found a place that was free and available, maybe a friend's place or maybe our own place
No.
where like our parents left for vacation or something, like hey, our parents is not home.
My parents are gone for the next 30 minutes. Come over.
Not sure, like they need to go at least a day, something like that. That's too risky. Like no one wants their parents to find out they're getting late in the house. So that love motel thing doesn't exist. Like it's again frowned upon. Like even letting others know that you are getting laid is not a good idea. Is not ideal. You don't want people to find out that you're having sex. Like sex is very secretive.
So what you're saying is that like after you commit, like and now like now things are like more open and free. Like it says you still have to like figure out the where and when of it. It's not
Exactly.
so easy.
Because like I live with
Oh,
my
interesting.
parents, the girl lives with their parents, so there is no house. Like we don't have our own houses. It's either has to be one of
Do
our
you guys have
parents.
your own cars? Do you guys have your own vehicles? I would imagine there's a lot of vehicle love happening.
Happens if you have the luxury to, if you have a car, yes. Or if you again have access to any kind of other private environment, that's what you use. Love hotels, no, they don't exist. Not
So
at
so
all.
you guys have like a huge voyeur public erotic culture going on in Turkey.
No,
It's
we
like
don't
well, like
because
be behind the bar, behind.
so no, like people just don't have sex that often. Like that's it, because of lack of private environments, people don't get to have sex that often.
Okay, so let's jump to Wanapa. So how about in Thailand? So you also live with your parents, and like I know you said you haven't dated Thai guys, but so like I guess a lot of Thai people live with their parents, and then how do they navigate the situation?
Most of my friend they have like a condos, like it's their parents' condos still, but nobody use it there. Like nobody actually lives there. They only have it for investment, or they only got the condos because of those period of time where you have to go to college, which is in the city, so like they can have like a convenient like transportation because it's like nearby, and that's what they do. And some people would go to a hotel. I wouldn't say a motel, because we have the motel thingy that is similar to Korea, but it's not for couples. Usually it's for prostitution and like shady stuff like that. Yeah.
Like legit couples probably don't frequent those places.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Same,
Okay.
like hotels are for again for shady stuff or prostitution, or just they're just hotels. Tourists come and they stay, or like when people are going to different state, they use the hotels.
But there is a different like there's a different perspective, like perspective, and how the place look like when you compare a hotel to a motel.
Yeah, like they are usually known. For example, people usually know which hotel is used for which purposes. Like the neighborhood always knows.
Mm.
Yeah, like for
So when
example,
when Serkan needs to find the information, he goes straight to the neighborhood and asks.
so in Turkey we have something called pavilion, and pavilion is a live music establishment, but actually not. So you go there, and then the drinks are expensive as hell, because when you order a drink, for example, a beer is like 100
You get a
bucks.
private room. You get a private
No,
room,
like
right?
a girl comes to your table and entertains you, chats with you, talk with you, so you get the chance to talk with a girl or chat with a girl, or that girl basically entertains you. Like think about maid cafes in Japan, okay? Think
Are you
about
talking about strip club?
what?
No, it's
This is
more
like
than
a
it's
strip.
more than that. It's like in Korea they would call it like a nightclub. It's like they'll come chat with you. They're
Oppa
open
bar.
open
Yeah,
to
it's
they're
called
like
Oppa bar, yes.
open to further discussion.
Yes, exactly, exactly. It's like
Like
basically a male entertainment establishment. Nothing sexual happens, but basically, you get there, you pay overpriced drinks. The hostess come and then entertain you, but there's always additional illegal, illicit services offered, and then for that you go to the hotel across the street. So that's like basically prostitution at that point, and that's why like how people know which hotels are used for purposes. Depending on the location, neighborhood, it's quite
I
obvious.
see.
because the beer is $40.
Like there are some places that beer is $40, but these are like luxurious places. Like I'm not trying to compare establishment based on the price, but based on the services.
Okay. Well, so one other like feature about Korea, there's two more I want to mention, but one is it's about like a kind of quick marriage. And like I guess it's probably changing these days, you know, as like every nation modernizes. But it seems like in Korea, to me, like maybe an individual would kind of play the markets, you know, like the dating game until they kind of find like their best possible match. You know, it's like they're kind of they want to hold out as long as they can and enjoy kind of the dating game as long as they can, and kind of until their like age clock starts ticking to the point where then it's like the expectations for who their match is like I guess starts decreasing as far as like a viable candidate. So someone who's like okay, they're I don't know, like very handsome guy, whatever, or an attractive woman, you know, once they start like pushing into their 30s, it's like, okay, I need to suddenly start to settle down here. And so that I guess like if they don't find an exact like love match, like I don't find that person that I necessarily absolutely love, you know, their standard for like what is a viable match kind of decreases. And then sometimes people get married as quick as a few months because they say like, okay, I'm ready to settle down. This person's ready to settle down. Let's just do it. Whereas like I feel like that would never happen in the US. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Like in
Agreed.
It's the same thing as their dating style. They rush thing over there, and I just don't get it at all.
yeah, I saw this
Like
happen quite a few times to the people I know here. They just got
like
married in 3 months. Or
every time I see a couples in like a public place, when I look at them, I feel like there's always something missing, and that's just probably like the authenticity, you know. And it's
What
sad.
do you mean? What do you mean?
It feels like everybody needs to be in a relationship to show off over there. It's not because, oh, I actually really like to get to know this person. It's more like, okay, I'm 18, time to find a girl to date. Let's go. You know, like
So like
just
this person is the like the, you know, like exciting thing on my arm, and that could work for guys or girls.
right.
true. Like
It's like
people. Oh,
they
yeah. Go ahead, Wanapa.
sometimes it feels like they objectify each other. Even it a bit much to say that, but like sometimes it really feels like that because then like you see the whole thing and then you don't even find the emotional connection like there between them.
I agree with that part. Like, for example, when I talk about myself and my dating life in Korea, people get shocked. People are like, for example, I've been here for like 2 years now, and the total time I was with someone is like 5 months. So over a year and a half, I was single. I'm still single. So when I say that, they're like, "Wow, like why are you single for so long? What's wrong? What's happening?" They think something extremely bad is
What's wrong with
happening. And I'm
them,
like, "No, I'm just
right?
not dating. I don't want to have a
Mm,
relationship right now. I'm not in a good situation to have a relationship. It's like I don't have it." But here, people believe they need to have a relationship constantly at all times. You know, they need
to
to
be
have it.
normal.
They need to be a
Yeah,
couple
right.
all the times.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like, and yeah, there's this expectation, and like, I mean, through my job, I worked with like a lot of teachers, and a lot of teachers are women, and you know, like we would talk about like cultural points, and I would get to know them, and they would say, you know, that they would, if they're single, they would dread going home for the holidays because they would face all of the relatives, and they're all of the relatives would say like, when are you getting married? When are you getting married? And there would be like this societal pressure on them to like start to settle down, and I mean, even after they got married, there was also this societal pressure. When are you having children? When are you having children? Like it's like there is a certain societal pressure, which I mean, I
Mm.
guess we can probably explore in another podcast. But
It is
yeah,
the same to a
there
certain
seems to
degree
be
in
this
Turkey. Yeah.
pressure to get married, and like I do feel like in Korea, it's better to be married to someone that you don't necessarily love than to be
Yeah.
single.
Like
Like
it is the
and single
same.
and like not yeah.
a certain degree.
So
Like after a certain age, that pressure begins Turkey too. But after a certain age,
uh,
it doesn't exist before. Like, I would say 25 or 30. Like after 30, then your parents start nagging. Like when are you getting married or stuff like that.
yeah, like I would say, I mean, again, this is just me, so like, and I haven't been here for a long time, so it's hard to generalize, but I would say that probably does not happen almost at all in the United States. What about Thailand?
In
Is
the
there any
past,
pressure?
the pressure. In the past, I would say yes, but like I grew up in the family where they don't pressure me into anything relationship related at all. Like they would love for me to be single my whole life because they know that having having a family is a hard work. Like my family really put up a lot of effort and energy into these two kids, me and my sister. It's like a big, like it takes so much. It takes just so much. It probably takes everything for you to maintain the family as a whole. Like like when you like to have like I wouldn't say I whatever. Like I would say that it's like I don't have a pressure for that, but there is still some certain part of the country where people still having that mentality. But it's getting better
You,
because the social media, the internet, everything is more open. Like it's more like everything is out in the air these days. So people are changing their way of thinking here.
so it's like happiness is important, but there's also like a expectation of family, that kind of thing.
hmm I would say like the generation that would pressure me would be like my grandparents' generation. Like, don't you have a boyfriend? Are you getting married at all? Or like you want to have kids, stuff like that. And even
Like
like
you should have 4 grandchildren by now.
so not nah, not really, but yeah. But yeah, but like with my parents' generation, I don't think they would pressure my generation into like getting married or having a family.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna hit our last thing, which we're each gonna share one story. All three of us here have dated people outside of our culture, and we're going to each share one story. I have no idea what the others are gonna say, illustrating kind of maybe a cross-cultural difference, or maybe it could be something good, like I really like that about this culture, or maybe something like that kind of gave me a hard time. So I guess I'm gonna go first.
All right.
And then Wanapa, you'll go second, and then Mr. Bloodyhead Ramson, you'll go third.
Sure.
All right, so here's the one cultural difference which I experienced a few times while I was living in South Korea, and this happened with more than one person who I was dating, which is that I think in South Korea there's not much closeness between male and female friends. Now, I don't want to 100% generalize, but I think for the most part, like a Korean girlfriend, when a couple is together, usually the guy, and it's probably the same expectation for the girl, does not have like regular contact with a person of the opposite sex,
Hmm.
right? So like, for example, uh if I maintain regular contact with someone, even if they were like my pure 100% platonic friend, then like that this would create conflict. And this happened to me like several times, where so actually I had a really good friend in Korea who was one of my best friends in Korea, who left Korea before I met you guys. Her name is Momo, and so she's from the US, and we were really good friends. And I mean, there were several episodes in which my like Korean girlfriend did not really like the fact that I had a very close personal relationship with another female, except for her, even though it was like 100% like purely friendship and like good solid friendship. There was still something that was kind of like meh, like I'm not sure if it was a jealousy or what, but yeah, there. I mean, there was. So I'm gonna tell my story. So the one episode was I was at a Thanksgiving party with a Korean girlfriend and my friend Momo, her boyfriend. A lot of people were there, and my friend Momo was leaving. I gave her a hug, and as I was like giving her a hug, I touched her hair, and I said like, "Wow, your hair is like so soft."
That's
And the
too much.
girlfriend at the
Even for
time,
my opinion, like
the
that's
the,
too much.
the okay, but like okay, but it didn't mean anything other than just purely objective, like a softness of hair,
That's
and
harassment.
yeah, so that like that
What?
lit up the ex girlfriend, and so she was very upset, and I totally didn't get it.
It's like, come on, like this is not about. I don't know. It's not culture, bro. Like if you have your girlfriend, especially in the same environment with another close friend of yours, you don't, gently touch their hair and say,
No,
"Hey,
I was like
your
giving
hair
her a hug goodbye,
very
and I
Like it
soft." You
was a
don't do
goodbye
that
hug.
shit.
I
I am
wasn't
with
like stroking her hair. I was saying goodbye, and I happened to touch her hair.
I
Why
am
are you
with
stroking
Jordan
someone's hair like to begin with? Why?
because you were
Because
hugging.
because I believe in like yeah, an embrace.
Why are you hug? Okay, so that's me. I don't
I
even
hug
hug people, but
everybody.
yeah. I would say that's too much. It's not about. I know that jealousy and such. Everyone is jealous to a certain extent, but I would say you were in the wrong there. You shouldn't have stroked your best friend's hair while your girlfriend watched. That was.
But okay, but I think that comes from like an insecurity, right? Like the fact that I gave my friend a hug or even complimented, like it could have been anyone. It could have been like a dog, for example. I was like, oh my god, feel how soft this dog's hair is. Like that's the same like emotional commitment I was giving to like the sensation, but like then that like really bothered that person. So I totally didn't get it. I mean, like
It would
I
bother
mean,
me too.
I could understand if like there wasn't an understanding of my relationship with that person, but there was. So, anyways, that's my story. Uh, Wanapa, do you have any story where you like detected some kind of cultural difference?
Something that might have surprised you. That, oh, I didn't know this existed, or something like that.
Uh, I dated a guy from Texas, and I heard about the reputation of being like the man, like is like very conservative down there, right? So I like the little thing that he does, like opening door, and like when we walk on the street, he would like let me be in the side that there's no cars and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I think this kind of thing I'm missing. I know that women this day come out and be like, I can open my door. I'm an independent woman, blah, blah, blah. I'm a strong independent woman, right? But I am the person who actually values all these little things. I think it's super sweet. Like, that's how you show careness, not asking me, what did I eat today on text messages?
Okay, so you like
So,
macho man.
yeah, I do. I do. That's why I'm a girl, right?
So
Like,
like okay, so where's the line then? Like this is a huge kind of modern controversy between the like male chivalry, attitudes of male chivalry versus women's liberation and independence.
can you put it in a simple way?
Where's the line? Like I mean, if women are supposed to be like true to like there's if there should be gender equality, then like is should there still be an expectation that men are like acting in a certain way, like this kind of way?
I if we're talking about gender equality, I'm saying I would see it in the term of rights, like human rights, but there is no way that the two different gender can be equal in like
but
cultural
it's
context.
still like
Yeah.
behavioral expectations. It's kind of like so if you see some guy do that kind of like you know uh I guess traditional male chivalrous act and you like it.
I think that's
I
gender
do.
roles. Like, I think she
Yeah.
likes gender roles. It's not about equality, but
I do not like gender roles. I do not like being in the kitchen and
okay,
having.
like let's say a bit, because what you are describing is traditional gender roles. The male, the man looks after the lady, opens the door, makes her walk in the safe side of the sideway, or then uh those kind of stuff is based gender roles.
Hmm.
And
Is
but
it
you
though?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
But you
Yes,
but
it is.
but
It
you
is.
don't like your part. You know, you want the man to obey to gender roles, but you don't want to follow gender roles yourself. You
Hey,
don't
I
want
do
to be in
cook
the
for
kitchen,
dudes.
for example.
I do cook.
But like that's gender roles. You know, man is the breadwinner, lady is the take care, like caretaker of the house. So it's like a gender role,
I
Well,
mean, I do
so
that
maybe
for someone I like. I do clean sometimes and I do cook. That's how I show my careness. Like,
right?
I like, I would like, I would, I don't know. It would be a nice thing if like someone who like my boyfriend came back home and see everything is in places,
Hmm.
the house smell nice. Like that's how I
Again,
show my careness.
gender role. So you're not
But he can
100%
also do
against the
it too.
idea.
I would have days where I'm exhausted and he could be the one who cook. It doesn't like I can be the one who like pull him out of the street when the car is coming really fast. It doesn't need to be gender role. It's something you do for someone who you care about.
Yeah, it's saving their lives. That's different. You know, pulling someone in front of a car is different than gender roles. It's like,
Okay.
okay, tell me
Okay.
this: how many times have you opened a door for a man
Many
in your
times.
life?
Yeah, many times. And they're not necessarily they were not
To be
necessarily
chivalrous.
my date.
I'm not talking about you're opening a door for a random stranger coming behind you. I'm talking about opening the door to be chivalrous to your date. How many times have you done it? How many times have you opened the door of a car or a taxi?
she should be tabulating this like
Hey,
on her.
I mean, there are times where I
Hmm.
pick a guys up and then I'll be like, hop up, princess, and stuff like that, just to be funny. But like, I mean, it's really the. I don't
So
think
you,
it's
so you
gender
so
roles.
you like to be like cared for. That's all. Like someone
Yeah,
showing the like they
yeah,
consider you.
I do. I think everybody like that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's
It
fair.
doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be through gender roles. It could be anything that that person does to you that make you feel like you're being cared.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna do one more commercial break, and this time it is sponsored by
Durex. Yay.
Durex. Yeah, we're having a rival reproductive show, and we'll see which one offers us a larger contract. So back to you after one moment.
All right.
All right. Now Serkan is going to bring us home with his story. I really cannot wait to hear this.
Okay, well, this I'm not sure if it belongs to the dating culture, but this certainly only happens in Korea. This is like I'm 100% sure of it. So, uh I think it was after our first month or something like that, maybe second month of dating. We were quite close, we're quite, comfortable around each other. So, that's the time you start to show your true self, how you behave. And one night we were out. I think we went to a restaurant, we ate some stuff, we drank, and then we went out to smoke. At that point, I was not smoking. I was not even vaping. So I was just, accompanying her while she smoked. When she finished her smoke, she then, threw this cigarette end, and then she spit on the ground. But it was not like a, very polite spit, like poo or something. It was like, and then in front of me, I saw the girl I liked spit a huge, gross pile of greeny shit. Uh,
Saliva.
and then I was shocked. Even responded, in Turkish. I was like, I said something like, "Hop, stop! What's happening? What are you doing right now? Like, do you also want to shit on the ground right now? Like, you can also do your, toilet if you are so, 'Cause I was like very furious at that point because that thing, that's what she did, is considered unacceptable public behavior in Turkey. Like, you won't be able to spit public. especially in a city environment, in a village, in I don't know, in a park where no one is looking, or onto to grass, whatever, but into the onto the pavement in front of your boyfriend or girlfriend. That's disgusting. I
Did you ever experience this with anyone else?
In Korea, yes, like so I know that in Korea people spit all the time. It's like a llama country. They smoke and they spit, and I mean it. Like if you look carefully, like while you are, I don't know, walking in the uh in a back street or something like that, just look on the ground and you will see lots of spits, because it's very common for Koreans to smoke and spit, and Korea, it also has lots of smokers. But I was not expecting, my girlfriend to do that in front of me. Like I thought she would be shy away from doing that kind of behavior. It's like it's gross. But then I found out, like I asked, why did you do it? Like, isn't that gross? But and she was like, oh no, we do it here all the time. It's very common. Like if you smoke, you spit. And
Right.
as a Turkish person, Turkey is also a very smoke heavy country. We have lots of smokers. And I also smoked for 10 years before I quit and changed to vaping. I never did that behavior anywhere. I never spit on the ground like that. I never saw, people, spitting on the ground. So it was like
So you
too
so you were
much.
turned on. You were turned on as
No, I
she
was
broke.
Turned off.
turned off immediately. I was immediately disgusted. And another thing I learned from a relationship, that being divorced is bad. Like, uh, whenever it's like the second date, the third date, let's say, or the first date, you should never tell the other person about your divorce. That's an immediate no from any Korean lady. They would just say,
Hmm.
okay, nice to meet you, see you never. The stigma, the taboo against divorced people are huge, especially divorced females. Divorced men maybe gets away with it a bit, but it's a big taboo. It's a big no, and even my Korean male friends told me not to disclose that fact until maybe 3 months to the relationship. And at that point, I was like, I don't know. It sounds very dishonest, hiding important fact, knowing that this is an important deal in Korea, hiding that seems like trashy.
3 months sounds a bit long to me. That might be like you not disclosing it after like 10 meetings or something like that.
Well,
I would say that. I
that's
would
I
say
would
that's
say
a
on
bit
the
far, but
fifth meeting. On the fifth meeting.
yeah,
So
yeah. I
I
mean, I
usually
think you give the person long enough to get to know you, maybe
yeah.
3 times, and
Like
then
I would say
like
three
third
times.
date,
Like
it's
I
like
would say three
serious but
times.
not that serious. Whatever.
It
I
doesn't
mean,
matter. Like
if
I am
someone's
proud
willing.
of who I am. Like I'm not, like I tell everyone that I am a divorced person. I talk about my son. Like I love those facts about me. And the moment something forces me to hide that, I hate it. For example, like I like someone, maybe it's my first or second date and I like that person. So I want that person to know more about me. And my son is also like one of my greatest accomplishments, achievements. I have a son. I'm proud of him. Like he is a very intelligent young boy, and like he's. I hope, and I believe he's even going to surpass me in every way. So this is something that I don't want to shy away, or I don't want to hide, but I am forced to, especially if I want to date someone, or if I want to take things seriously or move things seriously. I have to wait. I have to wait at least, again, maybe a month or so before I disclose it. That's also something I learned in
Yeah,
Korea.
I mean, you should be dating divorcees or like you know 35, maybe your demographic, right? Like I think in Korea probably, yeah, some like females who were probably not married in their like probably 20s, Probably not very interested in dating a foreigner who is divorced.
Yeah, and like I'm a young person too. Like I'm like 31. Like I got married
That's
early and
pretty
I
old.
got
That's
divorced.
pretty old.
Like is it like a divorcee? I'm a young divorcee. Like that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
you have time to be divorced at least 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah, I have. So like I'm considering that too. Maybe third time is the charm, huh? Something like that.
That's what they say. That's what they say. All right. Well, thank you
Can I,
guys.
can I
Yeah,
add
go
one
ahead.
more thing?
Yeah,
Mm.
please.
There was this time where I got like some dude in Korea asked for my number, and I was like, I'm not interested in any relationship right now. I'm thinking of like leaving Korea, so maybe like thank you, like I'm flattered, thank you, but like we shouldn't be doing this. And he was like, it's okay, I just want to get to know you as a person. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? So like we set up a date, and then we went to this like really private like karaoke room, and we ordered food and stuff, and then he's starting to stare at me and be like, can I kiss you? And I was like, no. Like it was really weird because it was like our first date ever. And then he started showing me like he started to get moody. And then at the end of the like
Like, you mean, what do you mean by moody? He was like angry that you weren't
yeah,
like
like
being
you can visually
receptive.
see the way he talked change, his expression change, facial expression change. And like he would still try to ask me again. I would say like, let's just go, like I think we should call it a night and stuff like that. And then I didn't want to pay at all on that. Usually when I go on a date, I will offer to share, but this time I feel like I was wasting my time and I was having such a bad night. I'm not gonna pay for shit. And he was like, you need to pay. And I'm like, no, I don't need to pay. You basically wasting my
He invited.
yeah, he's Korean as well. But it was such a weird experience that I need to just put out there because like I've never
Yeah,
met anything or anyone like this before. It was freaking
that's an
weird. It was
odd experience. Like especially in Korea, men pays the first date all the time. Like maybe 90% of
no,
the
but it's
time.
because he made like he is. It was almost like he made me feel like because I didn't kiss him, now I gotta pay.
So that's the mentality I was talking about. Like when
It was
man
so
has that,
gross. I feel
yeah,
so pissed that night. It was like the worst thing that could happen.
like
I think didn't you come to hang out with the group that I was in then later that night?
What did I?
It was a while ago, I think.
Yeah, but like Ashton talked about it on my like roasting night. Cause like I didn't come I didn't go and hang out with you because like I went to Ashton right away and I was because like he was already in the area and I needed to rent to someone who was like Ashton, you're never gonna believe that. Anyway, yeah.
But not everyone's like that. But like, yeah, I guess there could be some kind of like, the pretense. Like, there's a kind of a pretense. Oh no, we're just going to be friends. But like, I mean, that's obviously not the case. Like, yeah,
Anyway,
bullshit. So, all right. Well, I guess we'll close things up there.
all right, yeah.
But thank you so much to Wanapa for joining us. Like, and she has a job. She's very busy, but we're gonna invite her as often
I
as she
have
can
a
come
job.
on. So, but if you are interested in being in touch and seeing what she's up to, she is a future, soon to be major influencer on Instagram. She's told me not to say that, but anyway, she's one of my absolute favorite follows on Instagram. She's one of my favorite people that I met in Korea out of 8 years that I lived there. If you want to look for her on Instagram, it's at inn.vincible. So that's inn.vincible. You can find her. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope you enjoyed your time
Yeah,
with
we are
us.
going to put a link down below, so you can also click on the link and see her Instagram. Don't worry, you don't have to type. Just like Jordan said, Jordan is new to technology,
right.
so he doesn't know how links and things work. So
It's our first guest. Like, it's the first time ever promoting anyone. Next time I'm gonna have the letters on the screen. But yeah, thank you, and podcast audience. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you guys have any want to share any stories, or have any thoughts about like a dating culture between different countries or in your own countries, please share that down in the comments of the YouTube. And as always, we are your intercultural
Concierge. See you
Thanks for
guys.
having me, guys. Bye.
Take care.